The UK is expected to review its travel red list today, and there's a good chance South Africa will be removed from it. Experts believe this will be a great help in South Africa's road to economic recovery. For more on this, we're joined by our correspondent in London, Olly Barratt. Olly, thanks for making time. Are there indications that the UK will be making this decision today? What are we expecting?
It is reported that the decision has been made, and now we are just waiting to hear exactly what that decision is. Often in these instances, these updates to the UK's travel list, the first we hear of it is on the Twitter feed of Grant Shapps, the Secretary of State for Transport. I got very excited about 30 seconds ago when he tweeted, but he was tweeting actually about something entirely different, which does suggest he's out of that meeting. And it is reported here in London that ministers and scientific officials have agreed to whittle the red list down to just 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 countries. And the thinking is that South Africa is therefore very likely to be announced later today as having come off the red list, but that is very much unconfirmed at this point.
Our government has been lobbying aggressively for us to be taken off that list, and the reasoning that's been given obvious reasons. Our COVID-19 infections have been falling rapidly. Our rate of infection has actually been lower than the UK's, and we've made some progress in our vaccination program. How has the UK justified this decision?
It hasn't, really. The government has only set out the criteria that it uses to make these decisions. It hasn't specifically said why South Africa has remained on the list, which criteria are being used. There have been some suggestions by the High Commission, for example, that the presence of the beta variant has been a factor, but we know that the beta variant's been really pushed out by Delta in South Africa. Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, recently talked about the vaccination rate in South Africa as being way behind Turkey, for example, as it came off the red list and South Africa didn't. But we haven't had an explicit explanation from the UK as to exactly why it has felt up to now that South Africa should remain red.
I'm interested in what the business community has said in the UK, because here in South Africa, big business also helped campaign, and the message it was preaching was the impact on our economy. We've lost about 2 billion rand, according to the tourism industry already. There are businesses that are suffering. Has the economic impact only been on our side? What have other stakeholders, particularly the business community, been saying there in the UK?
Yeah, the UK-South Africa route is so lucrative and normally so busy that there's a large industry here in the UK around people who make that journey back and forth from the UK to South Africa for tourism or business or whatever reason it might be. And so there's been a huge amount of lobbying here in the UK from that travel sector for this particular route to be reopened. The government has always said it's being cautious and safety comes first, but there's been growing pressure recently, I think particularly as the diplomatic fallout has become more and more evident, the strains between the UK and South Africa when it comes to their relationship, their bilateral relationship, that's only increased the pressure on the government here in London to make a change. It insists it's basing all of this on the data, and of course we had that recent meeting between the between the High Commission in South Africa and South African officials to try and put potentially some new data on the table which may help in the decisions that have been being made today.